The shootout that changed American policing and guns forever. April 11, 1986. 2 FBI agents dead. 5 wounded. 67 seconds that would reshape law enforcement weaponry for decades. And it all traces back to a single failure, the wrong ammunition choice. This is the story of how a street-level robbery gone wrong in Miami became the reason your local police officer carries the gun they do today. And why the official narrative about that day has buried the real culprit. Let's set the scene. Miami, April 11, 1986. The Miami FBI field office had been tracking 2 men, Michael Lee Platt and William Russell Matix, for months. Both former Army servicemen. Both suspected in a string of violent robberies across South Florida. They'd hit armored cars. They'd hit banks. They'd left bodies. That morning, the FBI got a tip. A stolen vehicle matching their description was spotted in Pinecrest. 12 FBI agents converged. This should have been routine. It wasn't. What followed was the deadliest firefight involving FBI field agents in the Bureau's modern history. Jerry Dove, 30 years old, was shot through the heart. Benjamin Grogan, 53, took a round to the head. 5 other agents went down, some critical. Platt and Matix died too. But the math of that morning was brutal: trained federal agents, superior numbers, better equipment, and still, 2 of them didn't come home. The official story stopped there. Case closed. Justice served. Except it wasn't. Here's what actually happened in those 67 seconds, because the timeline matters more than you think. Platt and Matix spotted the agents first. They opened fire from inside their stolen Monte Carlo with a Mini 14 rifle, a semi-automatic weapon with 30-round magazines. The agents returned fire. Standard protocol. But here's the problem nobody wanted to talk about: the FBI agents were carrying .38 special revolvers and 9mm semi-automatics loaded with ammunition that performed like it was designed in 1945, not 1986. Specifically, the 9mm rounds, Winchester silver tips, were underperforming. They were hitting Platt and Matix multiple times. Platt was shot 12 times. Matix was shot 5 times. But the ammunition wasn't delivering what ballistics experts call the stopping power, the ability to incapacitate immediately. One of those rounds went through Platt's arm, through his torso, and didn't stop him. He kept shooting. He killed Jerry Dove with an aimed shot. The FBI's own investigation, conducted after the shooting, identified the real culprit: ammunition selection policy. The Bureau's ammunition wasn't powerful enough. It wasn't a matter of marksmanship. It wasn't a matter of training. It was a matter of choosing the wrong tool. And that choice had been made years earlier by budget-conscious administrators who'd never fired a shot in anger. Here's where this gets buried, and where it should infuriate you. In 1980, the FBI had developed a reduced-velocity 10mm cartridge in-house. It was more powerful. It performed better in testing. But it was also expensive. And it was difficult to retrofit into standard handguns without weapon redesign. So the FBI shelved it. Instead, they stayed with the 9mm, cheaper, compatible with existing weapons, and cheaper to train agents with. Cost savings. Institutional inertia. The path of least resistance. Nobody documented this as a policy choice. It was just how things were done. And when agents died because of that decision, the post-mortem investigation treated it as a technical failure, not a systemic one. But here's what the official narrative completely missed: after April 11, 1986, the FBI and other law enforcement agencies suddenly had the political cover to demand better ammunition. The shootout became the justification. Within 4 years, Winchester and Smith & Wesson jointly developed the .40 S&W cartridge, designed specifically to deliver the stopping power that 9mm didn't. It became the standard. Thousands of police departments adopted it. The cartridge that saved lives going forward was born from the ammunition failure that cost 2 lives. And nobody at the FBI ever faced consequences for choosing cost over capability. This is the hidden pattern in institutional failure. The catastrophe doesn't expose the system's flaw, it becomes the justification for fixing it. Budget cuts don't get blamed when people die. They get rebranded as lessons learned. The decision-maker who prioritized savings over safety isn't accountable because the crisis became an opportunity for vendors and manufacturers to sell a new solution. Platt and Matix were criminals. They deserved to face justice. They did. But Jerry Dove and Benjamin Grogan died not because they lacked courage or skill, they died because someone in an office, years before, made a quiet choice to save money on ammunition. That choice was systemic. It was deliberate. And it was never framed that way publicly. Today, look at any major financial crisis, any military failure, any public institution that fell short. Find the budget cut from 5 years prior. Find the administrator who chose the cheaper option. That's your real culprit. This is financial history, not just what happened, but what was chosen and who benefited from the choice. This video is for educational purposes only. Not financial advice.